What up? Hey, welcome to Origination Overload. Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on hi-hats. Origination Overload. First of all, Octo Rex is your friend. As much as some of you don't like to use loops, using loops to sprinkle on top of your drums can make the world of a difference. Sometimes it can actually mess up the groove in your track, but if you select the right one and you're careful with it, you can actually get some amazing results. When you create a Octo Rex, you'll see underneath percussion, there's tambourines and shakers, which I highly recommend you using. You can also do some really cool things with the Octo Rex. If you open it here, let's just pitch the sample up and down. Another good trick is to play with the amp envelope and to play with the LFO. Under the drums section, there are some nice drums where you can also extract hi-hats from. For example, acoustic, metal. I'm going to find a sample with some nice hi-hats. But now it's got a snare and a kick in it, which I don't actually want to use. So a good trick is to actually use either the high pass or the band pass filter. Once you have found the sweet spot, what I also recommend is to actually manually getting rid of the kicks and the snares. For example, over here you can actually see the peak of the snare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it and take the level and make it go all the way down to 0. Generally there's a kick on the first hit as well. And all these other peaks must be the kick drum. There, now I've extracted the hi-hats. Now I'm going to play with the pitch and the envelope and the LFO to get a nice effect going. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate the Octo Rex and I'm going to change the octave settings as well as the LFO and the amp envelope. Duplicate it. This one I'm going to reverse it by putting the octaves down. I'm going to change this to the oscillator and make it slower. Actually, I'm going to change it to pan. Layer it with the other one. This first one you can't hear so much, so add some distortion. Sometimes if the hats are too hard, you can also add unison to it to soften them up. Or you could change the stereo width and pan them in different positions. So I've got this redrum over here. I'm going to right click it, go under players and add a drum sequencer. So if you click on repeat, you can get some really cool like glitchy kind of effects. You've got to click on it and drag it up. This is 1/16 triplets and 1/8 triplets. Let me play what I got. This is what it sounds like with the beat. And this is what it sounds like with the bass line. Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. So I've got a crash going with an open hi-hat going every 2 bars. It's got send effects, echo, and note that the reverb and the echoes are panned to different positions. So over here is our hi-hat, and what's happening is that I'm automating the pan position, the left and the right, the length, the pitch, and the tone of it. But it's just a simple hi-hat going 1/4. Over here you can see the automation lanes for the pan, the length, the pitch and the tone. I then duplicated that and all I did was I pitched it differently and I reversed everything. This is what they sound like. Okay, then I got a open hi-hats, a typical off-rhythm open hi-hat, and it's going over 2 bars, and on the last hit it's panned differently and it's got a different pitch. Then I've got a hi-hat which is off rhythm. It's got some distortion with a slow phaser on it. Then there's a Dr. Octo Rex going, and then I duplicated it and changed the pitch, the amp envelope, and the LFO. As you'll note, I used a couple of compressors in my chain, and they are not compressing the sound constantly. It is only at certain times. See here, it's only coming through slightly. Let's go through some reverb, audiomatic, a scream, and more compression with some unison. That's what it sounds like with the beat. Yeah, if you'd like, you can also download this Reason track. Check out the description below. Another interesting way to think of hi-hats is to think of it like a juggling. As one sound is getting thrown up into the air, it is slightly going to the other side. And on the opposite side, there's another sound that's getting pushed to the correlating side. Also think about when humans normally hit drum kits or hi-hats, that every hit is not the same. There's going to be a difference in the velocity or the volume of the sound, as well as the length. So to give your hi-hats a more human feel, you should actually play with the lengths of your hi-hats and where they are landing. So pushing them backwards or forwards slightly can also give them a more interesting human feel. First of all, I got the simple hi-hat playing on 1/4 notes. And to give us more of a human feel, what I can do is to click snap off and to slightly push them forward or backwards. What I'd also recommend is duplicating it and changing the format of it and also the pan position. Make sure it's on the pitch edit. Control A, select all. And I'm going to change the format by 3. Now let's change the pan position. Another important thing is make sure you don't use your entire stereo field or your entire stereo width. You'll notice that my percussion is panned to different positions and some of the widths are not complete to 127. And also in the redrum, I'm actually panning my sounds to different positions. If you found this useful or interesting, please like and subscribe. Cheers!
Origination overload.